Welcome back to a new video interview. This time for our episode, we have Nicole Lane and my friend and partner in this project, Tiff. So welcome to the show, girls. Nicole, what's your disability or diagnosis?
I have Spina Bifida and hydrocephalus. I don't know the level, but it's one of the severe ones, myelomeningocele, and I am paralyzed from the waist down.
Okay, so I think all three have the same myelo, but different levels.
Do you deal with chronic pain?
I don't deal with chronic pain.
That's great, because usually some people with spina bifida would deal with those chronic pains.
I understand, yes.
Do you use mobility aids? If so, how do they help you? And have you always used them? And what type?
Yes, I do have a mobility aid, and that is a manual wheelchair. When I was a child, I used to use a body jacket and leg braces, but as I got older, I was thinking that I don't need them anymore. So then I told my doctors and my mom, they both said that then you don't need to use a body jacket or leg braces if you think you don't need them. So now I only use my manual wheelchair.
Great. It depends on the body necessities.
What are some struggles you face on a daily basis, specifically related to your disability?
I would say my bladder and bowel control issues that I have on a daily basis.
That's the main one?
Yes, for me, that's on a daily basis.
Yeah, because it depends on the level of injury. So you can have more damage in the bowel or incontinence and all bathroom stuff, and other levels doesn't have as many problems of that.
Right.
What is a story that you could share about your disability or diagnosis? Anything you want to share, bullying or anything?
I do have many, just like you and Tiffany have many, but I'm just gonna choose one that sticks out to me the most. Is that I remember my freshman year in college, and this was during the summer, that I was late for class, and the professor was actually lecturing in front of, I believe, maybe 30 students, probably. And I remember him standing there, he turned around and then he looked at me, like, and I felt the room had a lot of attention. And keep in mind that this room all has like able-bodied students. And so that look on his face kind of taught me that just because somebody sees someone with a disability does not mean they've ever worked with one. That's the difference. There's a difference between seeing someone in a wheelchair out on the street than to work with someone with a disability. So
go ahead.
So I'm assuming that he's never worked with someone with a disability before. That's why he gave me that look. But now I do appreciate him because I have to learn that You know, I do need to educate people without disabilities that we do exist and we are there.
Yeah, just because we have a disability doesn't mean they don't have to treat us with respect, but they have to treat us as equal, just with a little differences based on our abilities or what we can do.
Yeah, I always say that I am responsible for expressing my discomfort and the way how people treat me, but I'm not responsible for your understanding.
Yeah, that's so true.
What is one thing you could change about your disability, the diagnosis?
If there's something.
Um, my urinary tract infections and bladder and bowel control issues, I would change it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It does worry my parents and I hate to worry them. That's the most painful thing, is to watch them, to watch me, to be uncomfortable, to be in pain.
Yes.
And that hurts me the most. So if I can change anything in a heartbeat, that it would be that.
Understandable. Even though I don't have the same problems with urinary stuff, sometimes it's difficult for me to do other stuff. So I understand. What is a misconception people have of your disability or diagnosis?
In terms of relationships, that I only go towards like people with disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with that. Is that I do think that us people with disabilities, we do have our personal preferences as to who we like and who we don't like.
Yes.
So just like race, like people will assume that just because you're one race that you're going to stick with your race, but that's not true.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just because you have a disability doesn't mean you're gonna be with someone with a disability. Although they kind of understand you most, sometimes your friends, your let's say your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, it's someone without a disability.
Yeah, and I don't think that anyone should be shamed for who they like and who they don't like. I mean, I'm never ashamed of my community at all. I'm just saying that I do have my preference.
How do you feel society treats disabled people?
Needs a lot of work.
I'm making you think, I'm sorry.
It truly needs a lot of work.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
truly
a
need a
lot.
lot of work.
There's too many inaccessibility for us. There's too many issues that able-bodied are not on board with. And we need to
Yes.
continuously to talk to among each other and not outside of our circle. And that needs to change.
Yep,
Most definitely.
so true. I think all here in this room agree. Why do you think it's important to raise awareness for people with or without a disability?
Because we have been forgotten for a long time.
Yep, I
And
agree with that also. Sorry.
I feel like this is gonna sound, I don't know how people are gonna take this, but I'm just gonna be honest. I do think that a lot of the times people don't see us as people with disabilities because they don't want to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're fearful of what's gonna happen.
Yes.
So they don't want to even imagine or have the empathy to think, what if that's me?
Yeah. What's one thing people can learn and benefit from disabled people?
That even though we're physically different, internally we're all the same.
Yeah, so true. Just because we have a disability doesn't mean we are different as other people. What are some tools or resources that society needs to include more to make our environment more accessible?
Put more ramps in buildings.
Yep, so true.
What are some challenges you have faced with your disability, and how have you overcome the obstacles?
I do struggle with times of depression
Aw.
most of my life. And I'm still trying to navigate, like I'm still trying to figure out how to get through it. My middle school years was the worst though. I can say that. I don't want to go in deep into it, but my middle school years was probably the worst year of my life.
Did you deal with bullying?
I did, yes.
And how did you deal with that?
I didn't deal with it very well. I've had oh, this is gonna be so hard. Sorry.
Don't worry.
I had suicidal thoughts.
Suicidal thoughts?
Yeah, suicidal thoughts. And
we got one more client.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. It was
Don't
really
worry.
hard. It was
Yeah,
really
don't
hard
worry.
during middle school. That's all.
And finally, how has your disability helped shape you as a person?
Oh, I wouldn't say that it was my disability that shaped me as a person. It's the people in my life that helped me.
Yeah, sometimes the problems you have about disability, sometimes and most of the time, people help you to overcome those issues, and they'll help you raise and or become a better person.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for my parents who helped me through everything, I don't even know if I would be alive today.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that I need to thank for my growth and the person that shaped me to be. It's not necessarily my disability, it's the people.
Yeah. So I wanted to thank you, Nicole, for wanting to do this and for allowing us to do this interview with you. I know we talk about difficult things, but thank you so much.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Tiff.
You're welcome, and thank you, Sophia, for helping me do this while I'm at work.
Don't worry, you know what, I can cover you. So if you like this interview, please give it a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Videos will be up every weekend. Thank you. See you next
Bye.
episode.